Dead blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. Sheet blood in the streets, it's up to my knees. Sheet blood in the streets, the town of Chicago. Sheet blood on the rise is following me. She's about to break a day. She came and then she drove away. Sunlight in her hair. She played the streets on the river of sadness. She played the streets up to my thigh.
Okay, hi there. Today I'm going to be covering Algebra 1, solving inequalities by multiplying and dividing, chapter 3-3. So when we do the inequalities, it's crucial to remember this, that whenever you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you must flip the sign, not which is the greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to sign. Okay, you just flip the arrow the other direction is what I'm talking about. Every time you do that, you got to flip the arrow. All right. Now, with that said, you treat an inequality really a lot like a regular equal sign or a regular equation. Okay, the other rules still apply. You solve it by opposite operations is the general rule of thumb. So, for example, if I had this one up here, this is the same as x divided by 3, just written differently, which means, to solve it, I'm going to do the opposite of dividing by 3, which is multiplying by 3, okay? Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Now, I'm not going to flip the sign because, I multiplied by 3. It's negative 2 times 3, so I multiplied both sides by 3, not by negative 2, so I don't flip the sign, okay? I keep it the same, which gives me this, all right? Now, if I was going to graph it, if they asked me to graph my solution, I go to a number line over here, and less than negative 6, here's negative 6, here's negative 5, here's negative 7. So it's an open dot, because when it's one of these, it's an open dot. If it's it's got the line underneath it, it's a solid dot. Okay, so this is an open dot. The numbers that are less than negative 6 are over here, this direction. For example, negative 7 is less than negative 6. The ones on the left are less than. The ones on the right are greater than. All positive numbers are greater than negative numbers, so 1 would be greater than negative 6. So anyway, all right, this one. The next one, so this is the 3/4, the negative 3/4 and the W is connected by multiplication. Right, it's not written there, but it's implied, which means I'm going to divide by negative 3/4. Okay. Now, when you divide fractions, you actually flip and multiply, so I'll do that in a minute. Usually I just multiply by the reciprocal, but I'm going to do it out this way for a moment, which means I get W, because these will cancel. Now this one, I have to flip the sign. This is what I'm talking about, because I divided by a negative number, okay? So this one goes the other direction now. It went from being greater than to now less than. And what I have is 3. And I'm going to multiply, flip and multiply. So I'm going to multiply this one times negative 4/3, okay? That negative sign, I just kind of kept it in the top of the fraction. Remember, it doesn't matter where the negative sign is, as long as you don't have two of them. Because if I have a negative divided by a negative, that's a positive. But, the negative sign can either move with the 3 or the 4 or be in front of the whole fraction, either way. So this is really 3/1, okay? Multiply fractions is easy. Just multiply the tops together and the bottoms together. So 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. 1 times 3 is 3, which gives me that, which means when I go and solve this, I get W is less than or equal to 12 divided by 3 is 4. Negative divided by positive is negative. So now I'm going over here on my number line. Here's negative 4, negative 5, negative 3. Solid dot. And it's less than, which means it's going to the left. So there's my solution, okay? All right, next one. Negative 5 divided by, oh, sorry, it's saying what I should do before I've even gotten there. Negative 5x is less than or equal to 25. So this is connected by multiplication, okay? There's implied multiplication there, which means I'm going to do the opposite of multiplying by negative 5, which is divide by negative 5. 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5. Whoops, wait. Yeah, negative 5. Now, these cancel. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. So I got 1x, which is the same as x. Now, once again, I divide it by a negative, so you have to flip the sign. So it's going to go the other direction now, okay? If we're talking graphing this, I go to negative 5 on the number line. That's going to be a solid dot. Was the last one? Did I do that last one right? Yeah, that was a solid dot too. Okay, just wanted to double check, make sure I didn't make a mistake. All right, and greater than goes to the right. So that's what that graph of that would look like. Okay. 4x is less than or equal to negative 24. So this one, I'm going to divide by 4 because this is connected by multiplication. X is negative 24 divided by 4 is negative 6. Now, do you flip the sign or not? That's the question. Negative 24 divided by 4. You're dividing by 4, so you don't flip. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Keep the sign the same. So that's what you get. Now I'm going to go graph my number line. Here's negative 6, negative 7, negative 5. Greater than or equal to will be a solid dot. And this is less than, which means less than goes to that direction on the left. Okay, and that's that answer. Next one. So this one, rather than my dividing by 3/8, I'm going to just multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, I'm going to keep it negative, and I'm just going to flip the fraction upside down. We'll do it a little quicker this way. Okay, so there's what I'm doing. Now, since this is a positive and I'm multiplying by a negative, so that sign needs to get flipped the other direction. So now I have 6 times negative 8 over 3, okay? And if you ever want to know if you did the right thing, you know, if you multiply these together, do you get 1? Okay? Negative 3/8 times negative 8/3 is going to be negative 24 over, oh, sorry, positive, because negative times negative is positive. 24 over 24 is 1, so you get 1x. That's why this works, okay? And you don't have to show that. I just thought you might benefit from seeing it. Okay, now, when I multiply these together, that's negative 6 times 8 is 48. And 48 divided by 3 is 16. So that's what that looks like. Now if I go to my number line over here, here's negative 16, negative 17, negative 15. This is an open dot going to the left because it's less than. And that's what my answer looks like. Okay. Next one, negative 1.5x. So to solve this, is connected by multiplication. The opposite of multiplying by negative 1.5 is dividing by negative 1.5. And I get x is, so I divide it by a negative, so I have to flip the sign. So now it goes that way. Notice I didn't add a line to it. And you can always take your calculator, go 12 divided by 1.5 is 8. And it's going to be negative, okay? If they ask me to graph it, go to negative 8, open dot. Here's negative 9, negative 7, that way. Okay, that's less than, and that's the solution. All right, this one. So, once again, you know, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 4 over 1, which gives me y. It's less than or equal to. There's no negatives. Don't have to worry about flipping the sign. So 2/3 times 4 over 1. All right, so you can multiply the tops together and the bottoms together. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. So I would kind of leave it like that. You know, I mean, if they asked you to graph it, you could figure out that 8/3 is 2.666. So, you know, if this is 2 and this is 3, 2.66 is somewhere around here. You know, this is 2.6 repeating. So, and if it's less than, it would go over this way, or 8/3. Okay, and that's the answer. This one. So I'm going to start getting into a couple multi-step ones here. We're going to do more of these in the next section or two. So to solve this, if I want to get rid of this 6 first, all right? The opposite of adding 6 is subtracting 6. Just like if this was negative x plus 6 equals 4, you'd subtract 6 first to solve it. We do the same kind of steps here when it's inequalities, okay? All right, now what's implied and in front of that x if there's nothing written there, like besides the negative sign, is a 1, okay? So I'm actually going to divide both sides by -1 right now. And when I do that, I get positive x. I have to flip the sign because I divided by -1. -2 divided by -1 is +2, and that's the answer, okay? If I was going to graph this on a number line, they told me to graph the solution. Here's 2, here's 3, here's 1, open dot. Less than 2 would go towards the 1, okay? And that's the solution. Next one, I think I got about 2 more here. So this one, solving it, treat it like an equal sign. You know, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that +6. Opposite of adding 6 is subtracting 6. 14 minus 6 is 8. So I got -2x is greater than or equal to 8. And next I'm going to divide by what's in front of the x, which is the -2. Have to flip the sign. So 8 divided by -2 is -4. So that's my answer, okay? If they ask you to graph it, it's going to be a solid dot. And numbers that are greater than are on the right. That's it. So this is my last one. First thing you're going to do, add 8. Get the 4x alone. 8 plus 12 is 20. Last step is divide by 4. And I get x is less than or equal to 20 divided by 4 is 5. If they ask you to graph your solution, here's 5, here's 6, here's 4. Solid dot, because it has that line underneath it, right there, the or equal to. And less than goes to the left. Okay, that's all I got for today. I'm going to close it out with a little bit more music. Have a great night. See you soon.
Show way, rabbit revolves weeping.